Yeah, there are a lot there.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to the Today's Restaurant News Networking Group at 11 a.m. Today is September the 8th,
Eight.
and we are a group of vendors who are here to help each other grow our businesses and also to help restaurateurs, owners, managers, and chefs if they have a issue that they're dealing with or have any questions that they'd like to ask us. They can certainly get in touch with us at 561-620-8888 and come to one of our meetings so that you can ask a question, and also go to our website at trnusa.com and our YouTube page, which is Today's Restaurant. We have a guest from our 9 a.m. group. Rick Israel is here. Rick is involved in the insurance industry, and he's got some news that he wanted to give everybody for future and for current information. So, Rick, welcome aboard, and the floor is yours.
Thanks, everybody. It's nice to be able to sleep in a little bit, usually, because I'm actually in Alabama. So we're an hour behind most individuals on this call. So to get an extra hour of sleep this morning was nice, but normally on the 9 o'clock group. I own a insurance agency that was handed down to me by my late father, and our niche is Medicare, but we also deal with the Affordable Care Act. And if anybody's on Medicare in this room or knows of a family member that's on Medicare, the biggest complaint they have is drug prices. Drug prices are completely out of control here in the country, and most people are going up to Canada, over to Europe, to Australia to get their medicine because since they're a socialized government, their government controls and mandates the price of medications. Back in 2021, President Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act. I'm sorry, 2022 signed the Inflation Reduction Act.
One part of the that are known to break up accumulations in this region. They have.
And part of the Inflation Reduction Act was to allow Medicare to negotiate the drug prices with the pharmaceutical companies. Well, I can tell you right now, the pharmaceutical companies are not going to have that. They are already filing lawsuits against the federal government. And that's a concern that I have, because then at that point, do the pharmaceutical companies really care about the individual? Or is it all about the money? So part of the act was that every year they're going to come out with 10 drugs, and they're going to allow Medicare to negotiate those drugs. And Howard, do I have an opportunity to share the screen?
Sure, hold on.
And folks, if you hear a lawnmower behind me, I'm in an office park and they're mowing the lawn today. So, okay, let's see here. Okay, so this is coming from the Health and Human Services Department. And as a Medicare insurance broker, there's three things that an individual looks at when it comes to Medicare. It's price, price, and price. And the biggest price, once again, is the cost of drugs. And what I'm going to show you guys is probably going to kind of throw you for a loop. But if anybody's on blood thinners or insulin or anything for psoriasis or psoriatic arthritis, they know those medications are very expensive. So the top 10 drugs that they're looking at this year is going to be Eliquis, Jardiance, Xarelto, Januvia, Farxiga, Entresto, Enbrel, Imbruvica, Stelara, and the most everybody knows Novolog is insulin. Now, Eliquis is used for blood thinners, Jardiance, Januvia, Farxiga, and the insulin is all for diabetes. So if you know somebody's a diabetic who's on these type of drugs, they're probably complaining how expensive it is. And right now, I want you to see this, that these selected drugs accounted for $50.5 billion in total Part D gross cover prescription drug costs. Of that, 31 billion was paid out by Americans for this drug on Medicare. Now, this is going to be a staged process. This will go into effect, finalized in January of 2026. So it's not a very, very quick process, as you can imagine, with lawsuits that are going to be filed against the federal government and Medicare. But I will let you know that, let me show you all this quick. I think it's this one right here. Yes, so right here, you can see that the total Part D gross cover prescription drug, now this is for just a year. So in Eliquis, the total Part D gross cover prescription drug was $16 billion. That is the top blood thinning drug right now on the market. It used to be warfarin, but Eliquis is the top. Now, the number of Medicare Part D enrollees, 3.7 million Americans are on this drug. So if it's $16 billion being spent, you can imagine how much it costs these individuals. And then you've got Jardiance, Xarelto. Xarelto is another thing for blood thinners, not as expensive. And it goes down. And the reason that the Novolog is going to be the least expensive is because at that point, that has already been taken effect. When the previous administration was in office, insulin was mandated to be at $35. That's why insulin's at the bottom. If not, insulin would be closer to the top. But Jardiance is a drug that I'm actually on, and I've got commercial insurance, and I can use a coupon. But if you're on Medicare, you can't use these coupons. So those coupons don't do any good. So we have to find other ways. So as a broker, I send them to Canada. I send them to Australia. I send them to United Kingdom to get these medications. So it's saving money and it's preventing the individuals going into the donut hole. Okay, so what's going to happen is every year around this time, 10 drugs are going to come out. And they say by 2028, then we should see most of these medications leveling out. I brought this to y'all's attention at the 9 o'clock group and this group because I know that a lot of you may be private business owners, you may work in the restaurant industry, and you may know people you work with who are on Medicare who have this concern. Let them know that Medicare is working for them at this point, but it's not going to be an overnight fix. But I do have the ability to help individuals out by trying to help them find better pricing for drugs. Some of these drugs you can actually get through the manufacturer directly through their programs, and you can be as high as 400 to 500% below the federal poverty level and still get the medication free. So you can be a six-figure earner per year and still get some of these medications at no cost through prescription assistance through the manufacturers. So I appreciate y'all's time. I wanted to share this with you. I believe Howard and Terry felt it was important for me to share this with this group. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Yes.
Is this just for Florida, or is it Medicare nationally?
National.
This is national. This is national. This is all over the country. Yes, ma'am.
My sister moved to North Dakota from Florida to live with me here to be with her daughter. So she's having to re-sign up with everything or something. She's disabled though, so she's got Medicare and Medicaid and all. So or had it, which I guess when you move to another state, you have to redo it or something. Is that true?
You have to reapply because Medicaid does not move from state to state. Each state has its own amount of money allotted for Medicaid. Now, if they're on Medicaid and there are a border county, like for instance, I'm in Madison County, Alabama, we border Tennessee. And so if you have that border, if there's negotiations between the states, they can work it out. But most of the time they don't pay. So you have to start all over again from scratch.
Hey, Rick, give me back my screen, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great presentation, Rick. Terrifying facts.
Yeah, agree on both.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question. And I never understood this. The drugs that you mentioned seem to be the drugs that you see advertised on television. And by advertising on television, as a consumer, I can't go into the drugstore and say, I want Eliquis. You have to have a prescription. So what's the purpose of advertising on television and spending all that money for that particular drug, selling it to the public?
Because people go to their doctors and demand it.
Right.
That's
I was
why
just
they
going
do
to
it.
say that. Yep.
And not only that, but if you go to the doctor, oh, we're going to try this new medication. And forgive me if I'm incorrect, but most of the time it's kickbacks. It's kickbacks from the pharmaceutical companies to the doctors to push the medications. Okay. But I will tell you that there are some doctors who don't believe in that. They don't believe the medications are going to work for you. Like, I'm a diabetic and my doctor wants to know, why don't you take metformin? Well, because when I was diagnosed with diabetes 15, 16 years ago, I've taken so much metformin, I'm surprised I have liver and kidney left. That's why. Okay. I mean, some of these drugs that these miracle drugs can really damage your system if they're not, if it's not controlled properly. It's some doctors just throw you on a medication just to get you out of their office. I hate, because it's just easy to prescribe the medicine. But I will tell you this, I would say 70 to 80% of individuals will trust their pharmacist before they trust their doctor. Because the doctors,
That's true.
if you think about it, if you think about this, doctors see hundreds of patients a week, and they've got all these different people they see. And it's very easy to say, oh, well, this person's supposed to be on this drug and this person's supposed to be on this drug. Your pharmacist is going to catch that before your doctor does, because they're seeing the computer. They know your drug regimen. If they see something fly across, they're not going to prescribe it, and they're going to call the doctor and let them know.
They're obviously more up to date on the drugs as well than the doctors are, sadly.
Well, it's true, Darren. It all goes back to, why does this doctor want to push this particular drug? I mean, Eliquis is better than warfarin now because it's a better formula. But being that it's got a better formula, it's more expensive. I'm on Mounjaro, okay, which is a diabetes drug. But 99% of Americans right now are using it for weight loss.
Yeah.
And doctors are prescribing it for weight loss. So that hurts me. This one lady from Huntsville drove to Chicago, Illinois to get her Mounjaro because there was none to be had. That's ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous.
Now, Rick, you talked about getting the drugs from other countries. If you can't use a manufacturer's coupon when you're on Medicare, how can you go to another country to buy the drugs?
Okay, so actually, in Altamont Springs and in I think his office in South Florida is in Hollywood. So there's a company that is based in Florida called the Canadian Med Store. It was started by a gentleman named Bill Hepsher, whose brother was diagnosed with cancer and couldn't afford the cancer medication. So he did some investigating and found out that the manufacturer, like let's say Pfizer, which makes Eliquis, also makes it here in the States and sells it to the Canadians. So it's the same drug. So you go to your doctor and say, hey, I'm willing to pay cash for this drug. Because that's the way that when you buy drugs through the Canadian Med Store or wherever they outsource it from, you're agreeing not to buy it through insurance. You just pay cash for it. So that's how it's done. So the doctors know about it, and they'll send the prescription up to the Canadian Med Store, and then it's a concierge type service. But then you have a website called RX Assist. You type the name of the drug in there, pops up, and then you look at the specification of the program, and if you qualify, my dad, who most of you knew, was getting one of his medications that would have cost him $95,000 a year at no cost. So because of his income, and it's all income based. I can get a nice supply right now of Eliquis 2.5 milligrams for $221 right now. Normally, if somebody's in a drug plan, like some individuals in this on this call are, you have a deductible. You have to meet that deductible, which means you have to pay the first $5 out of pocket before the insurance company will even begin to help you. Well, if you're going to pay $500 and then you're going to be in the donut hole paying 25% retail cost, which is over $1,000, I can give you a whole entire year, still save you money in the long run by going to the Canadian Med Store. And it's the same exact drug. But people like, oh, you can't do that. Okay, well, we drink Molson Golden. That's a Canadian beer. It comes to the United States. We buy it. There's no difference. So it's all trust and knowing it's the same, what it is, pretty much amounts to.
Absolutely.
Any other questions for Rick?
Not a question, Howard, but our son was having some stomach issues, 8, 9, maybe somewhere around that. And one of the drugs, just like Rick was saying, at a local food store that's got their own pharmacies, was $1,000 for 4 pills. Okay. And the doctor even said, go to the Canadian pharmacy. And my wife would, how do I do that? And so she started checking around, and sure enough, one of those offices are here in Lakeland. And so she got a quote from them. She also found a local pharmacy in the next town over where they'll compound their own medicines. And it got down to $75 and $79 for the same medication.
Oh my gosh.
So it does pay to check around and find out locally who's out there, who's working with it. But you sit back and you go, why is there this much difference? Doesn't make any sense. It's all about the profit and the money.
Yeah.
You know, we're all in business. We all have to make a profit, but we don't need to gouge and overcharge.
Well, the bottom line is the drug companies commit fraud against Medicare. That's ultimately what I mean. If you want to call it, what they're setting as retail pricing is just raping the American government and the American people.
I challenge.
And they're allowed to do it. Yeah.
I challenge anybody who's on Medicare. First of all, obviously, I can offer the service at no cost to anybody in this room to do a review because annual enrollment is a month away. But I challenge you yourself, go to medication list in there, and then choose the company you want. Choose the insurance company you want. And then if you'll scroll down on Medicare.gov, it will show you the retail price of the drug, the price in the deductible, the price in the donut hole, and the price in the catastrophic phase. And when you see the retail price of that drug, that's exactly why those 4 pills are $1,000. That's the retail price, because if it's not covered by the insurance company, you're paying full price. But I do want to say one other thing is starting in 2024, you're going to see some changes to some of these drug plans in the catastrophic phase, which I think I can't discuss now, but you'll be pretty happy about some changes that are happening. But unfortunately, some premiums going up. But nature of the beast. If my hand is forced to lower the price of the drug, just like this gentleman said, I'm going to raise the retail price because I got to make profit somehow. I have operating cost.
Well, I want to thank you, Rick, for coming to enlighten us on that. And as you all can see, Rick knows his business. Rick he's my guy, my insurance agent. He inherited us from his father.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I have no hesitation whatsoever to recommend Rick to you or anybody that you know. He's excellent.
Thank you.
So thanks for coming.
Thanks for your presentation and
Tell us,
information too.
how do we give us your quick intro,
Okay.
and then we'll do everybody else's.
The name of the agency used to be South Florida Affiliated Health Insurers, but my dad gave me permission that upon his passing, I could change the name. So we're ARCHI Insurance Agency. We are based in Huntsville, Alabama. We do have license to operate in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Tennessee, South Carolina. Now I've just gained Colorado. So if I've got a client that moves over from state to state, if it's doable, then I'll represent them in that state. So I've just expanded into Colorado. My goal is not to be in all 50 states, obviously, but my goal is to be able to take care of my clients. I do also, all of my services come at no cost. And the reason I can do that is because if you choose to use our agency, obviously the insurance company rewards us with a commission. And each year we review your plan going forward to make sure that you're going to be in the right plan. And if anything, if you choose to use us and you don't enroll, you came out smarter than you were when you came in, because my goal is to educate each individual on how Medicare works and how it can work for them and build that trust. I can be reached at 256-937-2537. And my email is rick@archi, spelled ARCHI-agency.com. And my website is www.archi-agency.com. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Let's go to, we're going to do our intros quickly, and then I'm going to read something that I got that I hope Mark is still with us. John Marinak, good morning.
Just had some ice. Rain freeze. Anyway, John Marinak, Marinak Food Service Consultants. We design restaurants, so if you need anything designed, we're the people to call. And we are not associated with any kind of dealers or equipment itself, so we design what's right for you and put in, what you're looking for, not what the dealer's trying to push in. My number is 954-817-1183. Thank you.
Hey, Darren, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Darren Gull with Tracy.net. We are a communications consulting and solution provider. What does that mean? We help take the aches and pains out of phone and internet services. If you haven't looked at a bill in a couple of years, chances are you're probably overpaying for services. We can also help you be disaster proof by putting your system in the cloud, where you work from anywhere and everywhere. The world is not standing still, and people in sales cannot stand still anymore either. So we also have specific solutions for restaurants to eliminate busy signals when callers are calling in. And we're doing more things now into what we call POTS replacement. So we can also deal with fire alarm lines, elevator lines, and those types of options as well to help lower the costs, as those are skyrocketing in price right now. So you can reach us online at www.tracy, that's TRACI.net. Our toll free is 800-881-8899 or sales@tracy.net for email.
Okay, thank you. Stephanie, good morning.
Good morning from New York, from Long Island, New York.
Long Island.
Long Island. First time I've been back in 4 years. It's pretty good to be back. But yeah, so Mark and I, my father, we run Brilliant Computers. Brilliant Computers provide services for residential and commercial clients. Of course, as restaurants, you've got people who are sending emails, you've got technology all over the place there. And we are able to help with business email services, really any kind of tech related needs. If you feel like maybe your systems have been compromised, make sure to reach out to us so we can jump in, take a look. Our number is 561-877-1119. Again, 561-877-1119. Our company is centralized out of Southern Florida, but we're able to help people nationwide remotely. And then the best email is Mark. It's M-A-R-K. M-A-R-K at brilliantcomputers.com. And you can visit us at brilliantcomputers.com as well. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. I've got a little one here. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Keith, good morning. I'm sorry. Kevin, good morning. Keith is not here now.
Morning. Morning, everybody. Kevin Anderson from Strategic Supply Chain Partners. I have Lisa Lee, one of my team members on the call with me. We're a full-service hospitality consulting company. All members of the team have been in the industry their entire careers. We specialize in helping small to medium-sized restaurant groups, hotel groups, in how they go about buying through distribution companies. We manage manufacturer deviation and rebates directly to the manufacturers. We help our clients navigate the difficult challenges of supply chain and distribution. We are averaging around a 10.5% save for our clients. I'll give you an example. Currently, we have two clients, one in Washington, D.C. and one in Houston. We're in the process of putting those accounts out to bid with all the distributors in those markets, giving those companies, the distributors, a list of all the items that the client is buying currently through distribution. It looks like the client in Washington, we're going to get them a 12.5% save on a $3.5 million spend. That will be around $420,000 a year for 3 years in savings. The client in Houston looks a little bit north of 30%, believe it or not. And so they will save approximately $1.5 million over the same 3-year period. We do everything on contingency. We don't charge a fee. There's no hourly rate, no project costs. We just share in the savings that we find for our clients. We have a very strong referral program as well for those on the call and anybody who's interested in hearing more about that. You can give me a call at 407-497-9495, or you can visit us on our website at www.ssc.partners.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Pam, good morning. No, you're back on mute. There you go.
I'm Pamela Hewitt with Navitas Credit, and we work with businesses that sell any type of equipment, software, IT, etc., and to help put together finance programs so their clients can finance their equipment and just pay a monthly payment. We also work directly with companies that need to finance that come to us. We're $800 million direct lender. We are now owned by United Community Bank, a very strong $22 billion bank out of Georgia. And I have over 20 years experience, and we'll leave it at 20, working with businesses, helping them find the right programs and helping them set up finance programs to give their clients options. Now more than ever, anyone that sells to a business should have options like monthly payment options, because banks are cutting credit lines. They're not lending. It's really a tight market right now. So equipment financing, IT, software, phone, whatever it may be, is much easier to qualify for and very competitive rates. So if you know of any business that might be able to close more sales by offering financing, or your business, let me know. My cell direct is 813-531-0654, which I put in the meeting chat. And my email is phewett@navitascredit.com.
Yeah,
Look forward to working with y'all.
John Bunn, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Great information there, Rick. My name is John Bunn. I'm with the BH Bunn Company. If you've ever seen a product, anything from beef, pork roast, rotisserie chickens, newspapers, magazines, bakery boxes that have been tied with twine, that's our machine. We're here to help you with delivery services, because delivery people, it's now been studied that 80% admit to eating the food they deliver. The bun knot cannot be duplicated by hand. So there's a picture of the bun knot right there behind me. You got a visual for security purposes. You can get us at 800-222-BUN. Our website is buntyco.com. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Okay. Terry, TRN Terry, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'll make this short and sweet. What I do is try and manage the office and collect leads, places that are coming into Florida, chains that are for the first time coming into Florida. We do have a lot of them, I can assure you. The leads report is done once a month. It is sent out to you in an Excel spreadsheet. You'll get the owner's names, phone numbers, emails about when they're opening, name of the restaurant, bar, hotel, whatever it is, and a little bit of information in the information line. That is in the middle. And your last line would be the email address. And that is after when they're going to open so that you go a little bit further out there. I've had 2 renewals this morning already. I got a nasty letter from one guy actually at a big, massive company who said, a food company, Terry, where are my leads? And he was like with us, you know, a mad face jokingly. And I said, you didn't renew. 5 minutes later, I had the renewal. So I sent him right out. But companies renew year after year after year. Anyways, that can be, I can send you a sample if you'd like, just let me know. But they won't have the email addresses. That's Terry, Terri, at trnusa.com. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, we will be at the Florida Restaurant Show in booth number 943.
934.
Okay. 934. Come and see us.
We're next to you at 9:30.
Right next to John Bunn.
Yes, I know. I'm excited about that.
Come get tied up.
We're coming to rescue.
Hey, John,
You're coming too? Oh, we got to talk.
Coming to harass you.
Oh, please do. Remember last year? It was hilarious.
It was funny.
John Bunn, you should.
I deserve it.
What was the name? What was the tagline that Darren came up with?
Delivery food should be tied, not tried.
Okay. My suggestion, you get a hold of Terry Arc in this group who does the novelties and order some T-shirts and put that on the T-shirts and wear them at the show. And maybe buy some extra to give out. Seriously. How's that? And put Darren's name on the bottom in little letters.
Copyright. Copyright. No trademark fee.
Definitely not. That is full rights for John to use. I love coming up with creative ideas. I reached out to Absolute Vodka and they still haven't done the one I came up with for them, which I think it should be the clear choice in alcohol. But,
oh my gosh, yes. Oh, and Darren, by the way, you're missing something.
What's that?
Your glasses.
No, I got them off. I'm dealing with a headache today.
I've never seen you without them.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I never used to wear them. It was just I went to a lineless bifocal a while back, and it's just easier than taking reading glasses on and off.
Yes,
That's why I carry it around my neck.
Get the half one.
Who is LPL on an iPhone? Is that?
That's Lisa Lee from our from SSCP. Lisa, say hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Lisa.
Good.
Glad you.
I'm not going to go through the whole thing because Kevin did such a good job. I don't need to.
Lisa, just talk for a second, if you guys don't mind.
No.
About the client in Houston, the whole beef discovery, what we found, and then what you said at the end of our conversation. Would you mind?
No, not at all. So this customer in Houston that we started working with, it's one location, and he does a tremendous amount of business. His spend for one location in purchases with the distributor is like 1.3 million, and that's quite a bit for one location. Wow. So when we got all the data, I started kind of, looking at all the data, and I came up with this like really high case cost, and I kept looking at it and checking it and looking at it and checking it. Because just from my experience, $140 case cost should never happen. I mean, Fogo de Chao's case cost is not even $140. So at first I thought the data was wrong, and then I kind of really started digging into it, and it was right. And as we started drilling down into the items and learning more about the items that he was buying and the distributor he was buying from, the distributor that he's currently buying from in Houston is basically selling him a premium product that he thinks it's a premium product. He's certainly paying a premium price. And it's not even a premium. It's not even a premium outside skirt. And that was very interesting. And he'll figure that out. We're doing a cutting with him on Wednesday. But as we went through the whole process, to what Kevin said, I had actually got some recent data on Fogo de Chao, and their average case cost is only $95. And this guy's a Mexican restaurant, and he's at 140. So with the chicken and beef, let's just say he's probably being sold a bill of goods, and he's paying for that bill of goods. But the savings that we're going to, to bring to the table for him, and, for you guys that know food service, it's huge. I mean, it's going to be probably, I don't know, Kevin, you think we'll probably end up in the mid 40s by the time we're all said and done, maybe $50 a case?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So he's paying he's paying between $40 and $50 a case more per case.
Yeah.
But he should be paying as an aggregate of all the things. Anyway, the point was the thing he said at the end, which I want to make sure it was, mentioned. He said, "I thank you from the bottom of my heart, from myself and my family."
Yeah.
And
that was super cool.
Yeah. Here's an independent guy. He's trying to make a living. He's got a great concept. He's got one unit. He's about ready to open a second one, and he's getting ripped off like ridiculous from the distributor, to the point where they're selling him premium beef at it's not anything remotely close to what they're pricing him out at. They're just giving him whatever they want to give him at $3 or $4 a pound more than what it's worth. And so these are the things that we discover along the way when we're doing this work, and it's unfortunate that not all distributors are like that. But in this case, it was very, we called it criminal shocking. It's nuts what some of these companies can do to a client, and we find that out, and we obviously make a big dent in that whole process on their behalf. So anyway, I appreciate you guys letting us share that with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I'll say something. Hey, something real quick. What I was just talking about is what any individual business owner should do. It's building relationships and building trust, because what it's going to do is what this just happened. This other gentleman is going to tell other people about what he was able to offer, and that's probably going to send more leads to that individual. So that's
absolutely. Absolutely. If you do things with integrity, you know what? It always comes back.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's why we're here. That's why we trust each other, because we know that everybody in this group, if we recommend each other, we know the job will get done and be done in the right way. So our clients are protected.
That's right.
I want to read a letter that I received this week. Stephanie, you still with us? Just shake your head. And if Mark is not on right now, but he can watch the video on today's restaurant, and please subscribe to that channel, because we're putting up some new videos, etc. Anyhow, got this email letter this week. I'm going to read it real quick, and then just this for information. And I'm going to read it as it was written. Hello there. Unfortunately, there are some bad news for you. Some time ago, your device was infected with my private Trojan, RAT, remote administration tool. If you want to find out more about it, simply use Google. My Trojan allows me to access your accounts, your camera, and microphone. Check the sender of this email. I have sent it from your email account, and that is true. You truly enjoy checking out porn websites and watching dirty videos while having a lot of kinky fun. I recorded you through your camera, satisfying yourself. If you still doubt my serious intentions, it may take a couple of mouse clicks to share this video of you with your friends, relatives, all email contacts, and on social media. All you need is $1,600, and they want to get paid in Bitcoin. Transfer it to my account, and he goes on to give me his Bitcoin number and account number. After the transaction is successful, I will proceed to delete everything without delay. Afterwards, we can pretend that we have never met before. In addition, I assure you that all harmful software will be deleted from your device. Be sure I keep my promises.
All right, so
Then he
this
goes on
was sent to you.
So go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay, so this was sent to you, you're saying?
I'm sorry?
This was sent to you?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm picking up is more than likely it was something called spoofing. So there is a way that these phishing people, right, scammers, can spoof an email address as the sender, right? So it looks like it's coming from a certain sender, and sometimes it even shows in the sent mailbox. The most important thing that I would suggest for you to do right now is to change your password and to set up two-factor on your email if you don't have that set up already. I wouldn't obviously pay them anything. And I'm assuming that some of what they're saying is definitely just a threat to, get you scared. But that is a good example, and everybody should know about these type of attempts as what is called spoofing. So you could literally get an email address from your Aunt May, and the email address, when you hover above it, says your Aunt May's email address. But if the contents within that email look suspicious, it's best to give us a call, run it by us, and, if somebody receives an email from you and it says your email address, but you didn't send it, then your actions are to change your password, set up two-factor, and just keep an eye on your sent folder, making sure that there's no further activity.
Yeah.
So at this point, that is a phishing attempt or a scam. I'm pretty confident about that.
I paid
the whole thing
$1,600.
isn't even true.
I paid the $1,600 because I wanted to see.
Yeah, right. Who is it?
You're that wild.
I mean, if your curiosity is that that heightened where you pay to see it, that I've had a lot of clients reaching out to me lately, saying, hey, I got an email from one of my clients saying they got an email from me, and I see a bunch of emails sent at this point, and sometimes even if your email password is compromised, sometimes people will log in and basically just send out, or they'll use a software using your credentials to send out a flood of emails to different users in your contacts list. And then, that's going to be the one and only. They may not get access to your emails, to your email history, but they have enough credentials to be able to use your email address as the sender field.
So this is something that I don't have to report to the FBI or something like that? Or should I just let it ride? And
I would, if you feel comfortable, forward it to Mark, M-A-R-K, at brilliantcomputers.com, and
right.
say, I believe this is a scam, and, we can take a look at it. I don't necessarily think it's something you have to report. I do think it is just a scam. And
better be a scam.
If you want.
It better be a scam.
Yeah. I mean, you could, if you feel like you've been targeted, do a police report, just so something's on record. But I wouldn't say, have to start a whole investigation unless you're noticing anything else happening with your PC. You know,
I was
not being
also
able to
cloned.
access documents.
I was also cloned on Facebook.
Oh, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, I've found where a lady that I know, somebody somehow was able to get into her face page and change so the woman is pretending to be her and using her picture.
Yeah.
So my friend Annie has her Facebook page, and this other lady who she doesn't know took Annie's picture and put it on her Facebook page.
If you're interested in seeing a lot of stories about that, you go onto Hulu and watch the show Catfish, the TV show. There's a whole bunch of people that go and take public photos and use it to target people or to use it to, you know, get into relationships, you know, using somebody else's pictures because of whatever issues. But Facebook, definitely, that's another thing. If you have to kind of dig into the settings, but if your Facebook has not been compromised yet, go into your settings, turn on two-factor, make sure that you have a really secure password, because people very often lose access to their content, to their Facebook, even public like profile pages where it's like a celebrities page. I know of one recently that just got hacked. And they, you know, then they post these posts, they tag their friends, and they, you know, lead people into these websites that can install dangerous software onto your computer. So you just really want to be careful. From your business email, here's a little tip. If you're using Outlook, you can hover over the sender's email address and it'll open up into, you know, basically another like kind of side screen, which gives you the full sender. So it might say, you know, printer at, you know, whatever company you're at, but then you open up that and it says steve123@gmail.com. So that's another way. And you can also hover over a link. If the email looks, you know, suspicious, you can just hover over it and see where that link is going to take you.
And maybe you and Mark should schedule a presentation to go more in depth and, you know, help everybody.
I would love to do that. Definitely. And then we have also our Instagram page at @brilliantcomputers_. That's a place where I, whenever these things kind of come up, so I already have a post up right now for spoofing and phishing, about some security tips here and there. And so that's a good place to kind of go for, you know, to see what new things that we're learning that we want to share.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. I'll forward them email to you.
Okay, sounds good. Yes, yeah, we'll take a look at it.
If you see
thanks for letting us know about that. It's a good opportunity. Go ahead.
All right. Well, anybody have anything else they want to add to any of this right now? If not, thank you all for coming. If you want to reach us, give us a call at 561-620-8888. Go to our website to join our group at www.trnusa.com, and definitely go to our YouTube page, which is Today's Restaurant, and please subscribe and like. We're trying to build up traffic to that so that all of this information gets disseminated to the industry. So the more people that subscribe, the better it is. So I thank you all. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week. Darren?
Thank you, Howard.